Oh, hey, King. I heard you were looking for an LPVO. Well, look no further. Old Dad's got you. Welcome back. You are watching 110 SAS Actual, high tier LPVO Battle Royale. We have gathered Schmidt Bender, we have Nightforce, Callus, Leupold, March, and Vortex, the absolute very best LPVOs on the market, gathered here for your viewing and informational pleasure. I will get your eyes behind the glass and get you an in-depth look at each optic and give you a virtual test drive of the glass on screen today. We're gonna look at the durability of each optic, the One Power eye box, and the field of view that it does display, the glass quality, brightness, clarity, and light gathering ability, the reticle, the turrets, the cost to your billfold, and overall value the optic adds to your kit and ability. So go on and click that little subscribe button. You've earned it, kid. Now, a low-powered variable optic is a piece of kit that has a typical magnification range of 1 to 6, 1 to 8, and 1 to 10. LPVOs have exploded in popularity in the firearms community over the past few years, and for a great reason. It's an incredibly versatile optic. Run and gun with it, just like it's a red dot sight on 1 power magnification. Crank it up to max power magnification, to PID, and make much more precisely aimed shots. Today, our feature, the Callus K18i 1 to 8 power magnification. Based out of Austria and now partnered with Swarovski, Callus has been around since 1898, making them one of the oldest weapon optic manufacturers in the game and definitely on this list. Not only do they make rifle scopes, but they also make telescopes for looking at the stars and of course binoculars. So 125 years in the business making optics. Let's see if the K18i lives up to that history. So let's dive in and get you an overview of the K18i. The one and only optic in the lineup with a second focal plane reticle. In a tactical shooting environment, it's actually a little rare to see an optic in the second focal plane. For the past couple of decades, first focal plane has been the choice of almost all manufacturers for the tactical shooting community. So it is a little interesting to see this optic doing so well and becoming so popular being in the second focal plane. I'd like to think that their success has contributed to Schmidt & Bender's and March's and a few other manufacturers having reticles in the dual focal plane, both first and second. So let's talk about the K18i. It has an outstanding field of view of 127.5 feet at 100 yards at base magnification. At 8 power, you're at 15.9, weighing in at 19.6 ounces and a very fair eye relief of 3.74 inches. It has a 30mm tube and an overall length of 11.81 inches and a warranty for 10 years. Not too bad. So on the side, you have your illumination dial, 0 through 9. On top, you have your elevation, and on the right side, you have your windage. Moving back to the rear, you have your magnification throw lever. From the factory, you get 2 throw levers, a larger one and a more minimalist style. And finally, in the rear, your diopter adjustment. From the factory, both the elevation and windage turrets are capped, 0.1 millirad adjustments per click for windage and elevation. Each click is very precise, however, it isn't extremely audible. And that's okay. As long as the clicks feel precise and you know where you're going with it, you don't necessarily need to hear it. The important thing I'd like to note is the K18i does not have numbered turrets. Meaning technically, when you dial your dope, you have no idea where you have left it at. It's probably one of the most frustrating parts of the optic itself. In 2023, I feel this should be a very standard feature across the board, no matter how much the optic costs.
However, Calus and both Swaro offer turrets that are exposed and show what mill you are at with a very easy installation process. Well, I think it's a little silly that they aren't included in the purchase. They are available online, and again, they are very easy to install. It's a mandatory upgrade. The illumination dial is very simple, very straightforward. You have your numbers 0 through 9. At the very end, you have a quick change dial, meaning you can go from the absolute brightest magnification setting to the lowest in about 1/8 of a turn. This is extremely nice if you plan on using this LPVO with night vision. Yes, you can actually use this optic with night vision goggles as long as you have the correct mount height. Moving back to the rear, we're going to see the diopter and your magnification settings. Magnification throw is very simple and very precise. Diopter is also very simple, very precise. So guys, let's get your eyes behind the optic. So here we are at 1 power magnification. This is as if you are looking through the glass. First thing I'd like to note is how incredibly flat and crisp the sight picture is here. Fisheye is almost non-existent. The field of view on 1 power is tremendous. You have 127 feet on base magnification. That's outstanding. The illumination, well, it's some of the brightest amongst the entire lineup. A small thing I'd like to add is the illumination dot. It's not a very, very bright red. I would consider it more orange. This doesn't affect me at all. It's just something I'd like to point out. Again, the dot is very bright. It's just not red. It's more closer to orange. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like it. It gives me a little bit of extra contrast when I'm shooting targets with a red bullseye. Overall, the best way to describe the 1 power eye box on the K18i, walk over to your window and look out your front yard. This is what it's like to look through it on base magnification. There's no fisheye. It's extremely flat. When shooting with both eyes open, it doesn't mess with your brain. It truly feels like it's an extension of your own eye. It's like you have a reticle permanently etched into your pupil, and what you see is simply the target, an illuminated red dot, and a reticle. Calus knocked it out of the park on 1 power magnification. So let's move it up to 8. First thing I notice, again, very little fisheye, and it's extremely bright. The colors, the light transition, it's very crisp, it's very rich. I especially like this because it just feels like an accurate representation of what you're looking at. When I'm shooting longer ranges, all I really want to focus on is the target and the reticle. I don't need anything else to obstruct my view, nor my thought process. All I want to do is hit the target. I don't want to have to fight parallax. I don't want to have to fight for a sight picture. I just need to hit it. And I believe the K18i does a fantastic job at this. So let's move up to 8 power and let's see that 3GR reticle in the second focal plane. The first thing you'll notice, it's a very minimalist reticle. You know, in today's age, everything is a Christmas tree anymore, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air to have an optic that is still extremely useful, but not overloading your brain with a ton of information that may not even be relevant to the shot you're about to take. I'll be the first to admit, I have made numerous mistakes at matches. Why? Because I'm either shooting off the wrong hold because there's so much information in my face, or because I'm triple and quadruple checking that my hold is correct and I run out of time. It just happens. So yeah, I do believe there is a place, a very relevant place, for a minimalist reticle like the 3GR. Now, with all of this said, the K18i has an MSRP of $2,600. Is it the best LPVO ever?
Well, you're gonna have to subscribe and see. We have 6 contestants in LPVO Battle Royale. We have Schmidt-Bender, March, we have Leupold, Callus, Nightforce, and Vortex. Which one is going to come on top? Which one is the best bang for your buck? King, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You aren't gonna wanna miss this series.